I'm Chris Williams from Cyclone Fanatic, and a proud Iowa State graduate from the class of 2007. No one shows up like Iowa State fans. And Cyclones support Cyclones on and off the field. Your gift can provide scholarships to students, fund groundbreaking research. We could even drum up opportunities for the marching band. Visit MoveWhatMatters.com to learn how you can make an impact today.
This game is heating up, folks. Frank squares up like a butcher block on defense. Audie with the fadeaway. She's on fire! Literally, that is. The net has been burned to a crisp.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Cyclone Fanatic post-game show. I'm your host, Leah Nelson. Chelsea Poppens will be joining me in the studio to talk about this tough loss that Iowa State women's basketball had against number 20 West Virginia. But before we get into it and talk about it, let's thank our sponsors. As always, we've got our title sponsor for both the men's and women's shows, Channel Seed. Really thankful to have them on board. And our friends over at Fairway Meat and Grocery. They've got all the best produce and food you could want. Make sure you check them out next week for your shopping. All right, Chelsea, let's get into it. Obviously, really tough game. I think we kind of saw the hard truth without Emily Ryan, but we can get into that. What are your, initial thoughts right after this game?
A moment.
Like a moment of silence.
Silence for that game. I mean, we knew it was going to be tough without Emily. We knew other players are going to have to step up, or they're going to have to figure out what that looks like without her. I mean, the game was ugly from the get-go. I mean, West Virginia came in, they wanted it more. Their defense was relentless the entire 40 minutes, and they never let up. The gas was on the pedal. I mean, they had 26 points off of Iowa State's 21 turnovers. That's the game right there. That's the game. And majority of the pace and everything was set in those first two quarters, with West Virginia coming out with more energy and coming out with that. Like, we knew it was going to be an aggressive defense from them. We knew that they were going to full court press. We knew they were going to extend the perimeter. But I think it's tough, like, without Emily, who is usually handling the ball and limiting those turnovers, and then having to have Tanky and Wilson step up and step into those minutes and be able to handle the ball as well as a fifth, like a veteran guard is a little bit too much to ask. But I'm impressed by the way Tanky was starting to handle the ball, if we're going to take something good from it.
Yes.
But I mean, Tanky, I was impressed with her ability to start hunting for her shots and start to kind of change the energy of the game in the second half. That was impressive to me. But yeah, it was not great.
No, it kind of felt like, I mean, to be honest, this felt like the worst game for Emily Ryan to be out, with just how aggressive and solid West Virginia's defense is. Because everyone knows Emily Ryan just has this kind of swagger when she brings the ball down the court, and just this calmness to her. But again, if we're looking for positives, I think it was nice to have a game where a lot of people got to touch the ball. I mean, Wilson, AJ, like you said, Tanky. So I think it sucks, and obviously things weren't working out for Iowa State, but we knew that was going to happen. Was there anything that Iowa State could have changed quicker? Because it seemed in the third quarter, toward the end of the third quarter, they were getting shots up. They had some great possessions. But do you think there was anything sooner that Iowa State could have done to kind of maybe change the outcome of this game?
I mean, handle the ball better.
Hey, easy as that.
Handle the ball better, limit those turnovers. I mean, Crooks struggled in the beginning.
Yeah.
I mean, they put up a bigger fight than I thought in the the paint. and Crooks was getting frustrated and she was getting tired. And then in the end, like she wasn't looking for her shot as much. She was just looking to that in and out game. Like she was frustrated, which I mean, if I'm West Virginia, that's the goal. That's the goal. Like frustrate Crooks, force other players to step up because that's kind of our weak link or has been our weak link. And we've only just found our rhythm and found that balance in the last 2 games. So
it seemed like West Virginia really did watch their film, because every time, someone was doing something with Iowa State, like they were there. They knew where they were going to pass. They knew what Audie was going to do, and they were able to get points off those turnovers. So it was really frustrating. Iowa State still has another game against BYU later this week. Is there anything, coming off of this game that they need to work on, they can take from this game to get them ready for, the next one?
Sorry, repeat that. I was reading comments.
The comments popped up and we're like, ooh, Big 12 long season. They've got another game ahead of them. Is there anything they can learn from this game or take from this game to get ready for their game against BYU?
I think if anything, hopefully Emily Ryan's back to good health for that game. But if anything, they're going to take like the players that got the minutes, like Tanky and Wilson, they're going to take what they learned from this game, the good things that they did, and hopefully it'll translate to the next game. And even if it's just like more confidence in shooting, more confidence in handling the ball without Emily on the court, that's what's needed, because Emily's not going to be out there all the time. There's like, not to put jinx anything, there's injuries all the time. Mm-hmm. There's it's setting the tone also for next year if you're thinking about it, because with Emily not here, somebody else is going to have to step into that space. But there's turnovers I think have always kind of been in the back of our minds and an issue for us, especially with, like someone just said, is like forcing passes into Audie, not making their best decisions in that department. I think it's been a little bit cleaner lately, but turnovers has always kind of been something like just there that we need to work on and clean up.
It seemed like players were getting frustrated too, because if the ball's not working with Audie, but then we're not having people make threes, it's almost like what do you do in that situation when it seems like nothing is working for your team? Yeah,
I think Alyssa Williams did a good job. I mean, you saw Audie come out. She was frustrated. Coach was giving her a mental break, physical break. And then you had Alyssa Williams coming in and making some big plays in the post, which was great because, I mean, West Virginia makes changes too whenever Audie comes out. So anytime anytime that Audie comes out and whoever's guarding her comes out, that opens up an opportunity for a different player like Williams to come in and dominate in a different way, because West Virginia's focus has been Crooks, and they're a tremendous defensive team. They're going to guard. They're quick. Their hands are always there. They're going to be mosquitoes and constantly in the lane, constantly bugging you. And they just proved they're not going to let up. And I think the other thing is yes, we're a young team, and yes, we've been struggling with the defensive scout and locking in. And with Emily Ryan out, who's one of the best defenders out there and ball handlers out there, that's a huge hole in the Iowa State offense and defense. And so, I mean, you can't be too let down by today's game, because Emily was such a huge piece to it. And players are learning to step in without her more and more.
It's so good. I wish we could see this game with Emily in. I know we can't think about the past, but I just feel like, in my opinion, it would have been so different to have Emily playing just with her presence, her energy, her leadership, and just at the end of the day, her ball handling and confidence. Yeah. But I mean, hopefully, like you said, she'll be back for their next game. Iowa State takes on BYU on Wednesday, January 22nd at 6:30 p.m. So we're hoping, there's a lot more confidence with the players. It's going to be a different game, less turnovers, and just, a better game in general.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Looking forward to Wednesday.
Looking forward to it. You guys can tune back in.
Memory of a goldfish, guys. Memory of
a goldfish. put it on a shirt. But yeah, tune back in and we'll have Chelsea and I doing the pregame.